You don't fail simply because you're incapable of achieving your goals. You fail because you disappear the exact moment true discipline is required. It starts with a surge of ambition. Your brain delivers a massive spike in initial motivation, providing the temporary energy to map out a new life. You feel a sudden, intense conviction that this time everything has changed. Then comes the crash. A few days of binge productivity leave your reserves entirely empty. The initial excitement evaporates, and the goal you were obsessed with 72 hours ago now feels like an exhausting burden. This repeated abandonment erodes your underlying self-trust. Each time you quit, you reinforce an internal narrative that your promises are negotiable, eventually reaching a point where you no longer believe in your own potential. This cycle of starting over is the mechanical result of momentum collapsing when emotional hype fades. Failure isn't a lap of talent. It is the predictable outcome of a structure that cannot survive without a mood boost. To break the cycle, you must accept a harsh psychological truth. Your brain is biologically wired to seek comfort, not consistency. There is a constant friction between your primitive desire for immediate ease and the logical execution required for long-term success. Success demands a departure from your default biological settings. Modern environments exploit this. Constant exposure to cheap digital distractions creates a jagged spike in dopamine, followed by a plummeting crash that leaves your baseline reward system depleted. Look at the gap between that crash and the steady line of deep work. When your dopamine is bottomed out, the prefrontal cortex struggles to recruit the energy needed for focus. The friction of starting a difficult task feels intolerable because the brain perceives the effort as a net loss of resources. Ambition dies here. Many people mistake this biological avoidance of effort for a genuine lack of willpower, when in reality they are simply trying to drive an engine with an empty fuel tank. This manifests in the small retreats of daily life. The gym session skipped on day 3, or the routine abandoned the moment your schedule becomes slightly unpredictable. Every goal has a moment of maximum friction. It's the morning the alarm goes off and your body refuses to move. In that second of hesitation, your mind searches for a reason to choose the comfort of the bed over the discomfort of the work. This is the precise breakpoint where most people lose their momentum. They wait for a feeling of readiness that never arrives. Relying on how you feel guarantees a life of erratic results. True power lies in structured discipline, the ability to act regardless of your current emotional state. Allowing a temporary mood to dictate your long-term trajectory ensures that the exhausting cycle of starting over will continue indefinitely. The solution begins by removing motivation from the equation entirely. Because motivation is a volatile chemical state, it is an insufficient foundation for a serious life. Replace erratic effort with systems. Design an architectural grid for your day, making it more difficult to fail than succeed. Protect your dopamine baseline by starving cheap digital distractions and clearing red noise from your environment. This allows the brain to find focus rewarding again. You then implement non-negotiable routines. By deciding exactly when and where you will perform, you automate your execution and remove the need to make a difficult choice every single morning. Properly built systems take the burden off your willpower. They shift high performance from an exhausting daily battle into your standard operating procedure. The final transformation is the shift from being emotion-driven to being identity-driven. Disciplined people do not negotiate with their goals. When actions directly reflect your identity, the question of feeling like it disappears. You perform because it is who you are. In a world defined by distraction and burnout, maintaining unbreakable momentum provides a rare level of calm and total control over your trajectory. Stepping out of the reset loop requires this total identity shift. It requires you to remain when the hype leaves. Subscribe to PsyPeak for premium psychology and the tools to build a life of unbreakable consistency.